Kovetz Gimel, and let's start Shin Lamed Chet. Okay? So I said like this. יצייר לו כל אחד באמת ובתמים מה שנשמתו מראה לו. Okay, so a person needs to be mitzayer. So mitzayer literally means to draw, but that's not what he means. It means to form in some sort of way. He's saying like this. Your neshama is talking, and your job is to find a way to form it into something. יוציא את תנובתו הרוחנית מן הכוח אל הפועל בלי שפתי רמייה. Should bring your produce, your spiritual produce out from the potential into actualization. בלי שפתי רמייה. What does שפתי רמייה mean? Yeah, without lying. Meaning, we have a tendency to lie all the time. And it's not the lies of like I didn't take the cookies. It's a much more subtle type of lie.
Color things.
Yeah, we just say things that we're expected to say. It's like, how you doing? Good. How you doing? Yeah, good. How you doing? How you doing? Oh, great. Good to see you. Have a good day. You know, it's everything. Nothing there was the truth. You know, but like saying the truth is saying something that no one expects you to say. You know, and you think it's a good thing to say now. You know, and it may may help somebody, may help yourself. You know, it's. Sometimes people find themselves in the awkward situation where they no one's saying something which they think should be said. You know, like if they ever had that position, like, am I crazy? Like no one's saying this. You know, why is anyone saying this? You know, and then if you're afraid, you don't say it. And now what he's saying is, you just lied. You know. We're not saying anything.
By not saying.
It's like
I'm lying by omission.
Yeah, also, yeah, you know, it's but particularly he's, what he's saying is that, it's like we have a radio antenna with us all the time. That's like our neshama, and that's picking up like way someplace else, and you gotta be faithful to it. You know. ומניצוצות כאלה אבוקות אור יתקבצו. Now, he says from these sparks, big flames, big torches will gather. Meaning, a lot of times we don't get, our neshama doesn't tell us everything in one shot. Sometimes you get like little something, a little sliver of an idea, another sliver idea. Over time, you write it down, or wherever it is, the way you express it, you talk about it, and over time it becomes into something. And this can light up the whole world. He says, from the parts of the inner truth, the great truth will be revealed. What does this mean? The world needs truth. The world in general needs people to have a true way of life, connected to the truth, to the ultimate truth of what the world's really about. And we're trying to reveal that truth. How do we get to that truth? And what he's saying is that the first step, as far as individuals, is that respect those messages you're getting. Respect those little tiny messages you're getting from your soul, that truth. And you keep on respecting that, and then eventually like really big stuff can come out of it. It's funny, one of the funny examples, there's another story with, John of the Ark, with their revolution against the French, or against the, you know that story?
During the Crusades, right?
Yeah.
She heard a voice.
She heard voices.
Go forth.
Yeah, she was a 16-year-old girl, younger, 15-year-old. She was a 15-year-old girl who had these voices where I kept on telling her to do stuff, and she like led a whole army to conquer something or other. But then okay, I'm not saying it was a voice from heaven or not, but just it's interesting how like then she was burnt at the stake. the Catholic Church burnt her at the stake for sorcery or something. And then, I don't know how long later it was, they made her into a saint, which is really funny. Like, first you kill somebody, then you make them to a saint, you know?
It's a big ghost practice.
Yeah. It's like, first kill him.
There you go. When in doubt.
Yeah, but it's just, I'm not saying those spiritual content which are visions or not. Maybe they were, or maybe they weren't. I don't know. But the point is that this process of people killing you first and then saying you're amazing happens all the time, and
even happened with the Rambam.
yeah, for sure. The Rambam during his days he dealt with very, very serious opposition. Not just from big people. And they said, what's this person saying? And now
Same thing with Reb Nachman, right?
Nachman, and Ramchal.
With Reb Shlomo. It's not really accepted.
Yeah.
It's been more recent.
Yeah.
Do you have like any theory why that's true?
Well, it happens all different ways and places in society. But sometimes it's because people are not used to what you're talking about. So it's so strange that you're not used to it. It's like you can't hear it,
Yeah.
It's like,
Only after death.
and all of a sudden people will say, oh, wow, if we realize that it's true,
Or you're ahead of your you're ahead of your time.
Yes.
Ahead of your time. Also, sometimes when a person's dead, they can hear them. Like, for example, with your Nachman. Nachman said all types of things about himself, which if you had a live person say them, like, you can't handle. Like, he would say, like, I'm as big as tzaddik, and like the Torahs I'm teaching is like, just by having a book in the house, it's just gonna turn over the world.
Controversial.
You know what I'm saying? The type of statement like that, it's much easier to swallow statements like that about a person who's not here. Like, actual flesh and blood person saying that, it's very disturbing.
Is that because our pride?
Because it sounds strange.
Why does it sound strange?
It sounds strange. A person talking about himself and saying,
That's like,
yeah, it sounds like
he's better than us.
yeah.
He's better than us.
Oh yeah,
I'm not-
some part of it. Also, sometimes it's just politics. The way it works is, people are in a position of power, and they see a young uppity somebody trying to be something. It bothers them, It's what he's better than me. Like, this little young schnook, It's unfortunate. That's really what it works.
Like, I think the more challenging thing is to hear the slivers of truth that you're hearing and listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Right.
issue is
Folks over here is
who am I to be?
right. You're making a good point. Meaning the flack you get from society is one thing, but you're also getting flack from yourself. Right? Meaning sometimes you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in the messages you're saying. You're saying, oh, someone must have thought about this before. It must not be true, or how can it be true if people don't believe? They don't seem to believe in it.
In general question.
Yeah.
How would you know when we get a lot of feelings, we get a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
I didn't know which ones are correct.
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. It's like a life question.
Yeah, no, I'm asking that in general.
Yeah. Well, one thing I can say is that you can't be, just like you have to be open to your thoughts, you can't be a blind believer in yourself either.
Yeah.
Meaning, the Ishbitzer says, Sheviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. I place God before me always, but the word lenegdi means against me. And it says, you have to be able to entertain the idea that God is against you. I mean, not against you like that he doesn't like you, but against you meaning that he doesn't want what you want right now, or doesn't agree with what you're thinking right now. Meaning, that's a sign of a spiritually mature person that you can that you could question. Maybe I'm wrong. That's good. It's good to say maybe I'm wrong, but to be afraid all the time and therefore not listen. Meaning, I would say it's more about listening. Meaning, it's like you have to listen to other people. It's have to listen to yourself.
Negative can mean against and can mean in front.
I understand, 100%. But the issue is focusing on a certain particular
No, I'm saying in
interpretation.
front is like looking towards me.
I understand. No, that's the simple explanation. The negative doesn't mean the simple explanation doesn't mean against me. The simple explanation means he's before me. I see him. Wherever I go, I see God. But if we're focusing on this thing of the negative, that sometimes the conflict part of it is actually a very important thing. But again, yeah, we have to use our brains, and you can't like just accept automatically what we think or reject automatically. But I think the focus over here is to practice listening, and part of that is by quieting ourselves down and finding ways for our neshama to talk. For some people, it's davening. For some people can be like this bodhidus, like private talking. For some people, it can be it doesn't do that for them. Some people need like people write diaries and stuff, or they write fiction. A lot of times people write fiction also. Something comes out of there, like all of a sudden somebody's talking, or the character starts talking and saying really like true stuff, or music. Yeah, I mean, it's like you have to find like the way to find the voice.
You have like one like specific, like I'm not saying this is the only way, or you're saying like one note to say this would be a light to say this is coming from the real place and not from the
I don't know. I don't know.
It's more of just like more of like a human. That's the way I feel about it. I'm just curious.
Yeah. I think you have
to be so. Like you said, we have tendencies to lie to ourselves all the time.
Okay, it's good. I want to read you up another piece from Kook. Which is,
I guess when feeling comes or something, like when I feel uncomfortable, I probably know that it's not the right thing.
Oh, uncomfortable about a decision or something. Yeah.
No, let's say you feel.
If I have my moon is strong, I truly believe that everything is God's will.
Yeah.
Then whatever happens is God's will, and like I have nothing to worry about. But if I'm doubting something, a feeling of mine, there's something missing.
Yeah, but that could be the Yetzirah. It's challenging.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to.
The thing that's creating the doubt could be coming from not a holy place.
Okay, so
that's what I'm saying.
For guidance.
It's not simple, no.
But that's life.
Yeah.
Then you stop and you ask the Abishai to help you out.
I was just asking I was curious to know if you have like a.
We feel, we're human beings.
I agree. I think it's more of this inner voice, not necessarily if it's right or wrong, but I guess it's the thing that if you meditate enough, I'm saying, or daven, whatever it is that does it for you, it gets you, brings you there, whether it leads you there. Now, I was curious to know, I cannot think of a way to pinpoint it. I was curious to know if you...
Do you think you can tell?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the question.
Exactly.
What does Rob Cook have to say?
So I feel a really different piece of that. You're talking about the...
Big Floyd, or?
Yeah.
Kook.
Well, yeah. R. We're saying 4. R can channel a lot of good stuff, or bad stuff. I should tell you this. So it's a different piece about chofesh, the idea of freedom, particularly freedom of thought. So he says like this. He says, if you think about it, this idea which is in the world, that people want to be free thinking, think about things freely. He says there's a holy side to that. There's a not holy side to that. He said essentially it's very holy, because essentially human beings were created by Hashem to be free people, and to really explore our minds to the full extent. So being totally free is great. He says, but on the other hand, sometimes what happens is we have like some sort of like desire, like a personal desire, personally Yetzirah, and that Yetzirah, gets climbs in the back of what we think is free thought. It's like, oh, I want to do this, so I'm going to think a lot, and I'm going to justify it. I'll find a way to justify it. It's like that's not really free. That's like agenda driven. I have something which I want to say, so it's okay. So that's that's sort of the bad side of being free. So the reason why I was reminded of it is that it sort of touches on what you were bringing up, meaning I want to know what's true or not. A lot of times I have to be honest with myself. It's like, do I have do I want to do this because why do I want to go there? Do I have some sort of personal agenda? So be careful. Personal agendas are sometimes right, but have to be You know, it's a funny thing. There's a Chazal. It says like this. It says, in the time of Chazal, they used to make the months according to the moon, and they used to also make the years. Making a leap year also was like a case by case decision. You know, basically Pesach needs to be in the spring, and so the Chachamim look outside and they say, the snow didn't melt yet, so we're going to add another month or something like that, right? So the Gemara says a very funny thing. It says that when the Beis Din is deciding on this question about whether to add another month, you shouldn't have the Kohen Gadol on the team. You know this one? Oh.
I don't remember all of that.
So he says, so we want to what's wrong with Kohen Gadol? I mean, if he's learned, so it's like this. Kohen Gadol in 6 months from now will be doing the avodah on Yom Kippur, right? And part of the avodah Yom Kippur is going to the mikveh 5 times. Okay. Now, this mikveh wasn't heated, right? So if the season is right, so he's thinking ahead of time. Let's make this more summer. Let's make it more summer Yom Kippur. So forget it. The Gemara says forget. Don't take the Kohen Gadol on. So when you see that's sort of like an extreme example how our personal agendas
could tell a person Kohen Gadol is so high, you know. He's still a human being.
Well, it's subconscious too.
It could be subconscious. It could be he doesn't even remember. Why is it that I'm so intent on not? He wants to not add a month. That's what he's going to vote. He said, "No, come on, let's make Pesach quick, and we got Yom Kippur quick too." Yeah. Oh, so now the next piece over here, the Shin Lamed Tet, is more on the same idea about listening to the truth that comes from our Neshama. And here he really says it in a poetic type of a way. He says like this: Kol pam shalev dofek dfika ruchanit be'emet. Every time that our heart knocks, it truly spiritual knocking on the door. Kol pam shirayon chadash ve'atzili nolad. Every time a new idea, atzili is a noble idea is born. Hare makshivim kol malach Hashem dofek nokesh al daltei nishmatenu. So it's like an angel. So it's like an angel of God in your heart, knocking on the door. Mevakesh niftach lo et ptachenu. Leman yefia aleinu bekli hadaro. He wants us to open up so he'll be able to show himself totally. Okay, so this is what he's saying over here is that the little knockings that we hear are sometimes there's a lot more there, and if we just get our own attention, then we have this old angel. The angel comes and says, "Listen, I have a lot to say." וכל מה שנפגשהו ברוח יותר משוחררה, בלב יותר טהור, ברגש יותר איתם ונערץ. And he says, the more free we are, and the more pure we are, the stronger we are. בחשק יותר פנימי לאהבת היותר נשגב, היותר מכובד ומורמם, ככה המון נשמות מאוצרות אלינו יופיעו. So meaning it really depends on us, like our spiritual strength and how much energy we put into opening ourselves up. According to that, he says hamon neshamot meutzalot. It means multitude of supernal souls. It's like he said, all these souls coming in, and you can contact them. V'yazrichu b'nahagam et cheshchatenu, and they can, with their light, they can light up our darkness. Umasa'enu matanenu im ha'olam haruchani objektivi yilech haloch v'yigadel. Like here's an interesting sentence. Masa'enu mata'enu. Masa is business. Our business, our give and take with the objective spiritual world will grow. Meaning, he's saying interesting there. He said there's something called objective spiritual world, meaning very often it feels to us that the spiritual world is subjective. It's very much about like how I personally feel. But maybe it's not that way. Maybe there is some sort of set existence out there, which either we're opening ourselves up to or not. It's like, I don't know. One of the things it reminds me of is you probably heard these South American tribe that do ayahuasca. These people, like so they go to have these trips. But the crazy thing about it is that people get on drugs all over the world, but what they do over there, they do it together. For some amazing way, these guys are able to hallucinate the same thing.
It happens if you do it with any person. If you do it.
If you're mad to do it.
No.
That's what usually people take ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Right. So it's crazy. I mean, I don't know how to interpret this, but one way of interpreting it is that what he's saying is that there is an objective reality out there. Meaning, it's not that people are making stuff up. They're connecting to stuff.
Isn't that even scary?
Yeah. I mean,
Think about that means we're so lost. Meaning we assume A and then there's really B. We assume this is what's really in, but really could be another completely different. Like you just said, let's say if we hallucinate together, there's a completely different, and we're both seeing the same thing. That means that is an existence.
Yeah.
That means that does exist as well.
Right.
But yet when you go out of it,
Right.
you
Right.
almost
Yeah.
tend to think that was not normal.
Right.
So that means you can never almost know if you're lying or what. Like,
Right. It can be very confusing for sure. 100%. He's going to get back to this concern. Meaning, once you're going down that road, you can really be weird. You can really be losing connection to reality, which is a terrible thing. 100%. So obviously, this teaching over here he's trying to teach us to do it in a healthy way. But still, he's telling us to open up to this.
Life is a narrow bridge.
Oh.
Yeah, I find this. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
He says, "המסענו מתנו מעולם הרוחני האובייקטיבי ילך הלוך ויתגדל. והייחוסים ילכו ויתחזקו. ההרגל יפעל לנו ישב דעתנו במנוחה וצלילות הדעת. וכישרון ההופעה השריד מגדולת הוד הנבואה יחל לפעם אותנו להביא לנו בכנפיו מרפא." Basically, this process, which in the beginning might be chaotic and strange to us, over time becomes normal and becomes yishuv adat. Yishuv adat meaning you can really listen to inner voice with not in a manic way, not in a disjointed way, just really listening and really keep on. I don't know if you learned. You can see some sfarm this way, some Chassidish sfarm or Kabbalah sfarm, which you can tell. There's no way of writing a book like this in a regular state of mind. It's too intense. It's too flowing. Like I don't know if you. Some sfarm which hardly anybody learns, which are full of gematrias, which are full of like, and that's gematria that, and that's gematria that, and like everything's coming together, and like. Clearly, that person's those tzaddikim were definitely having some sort of inner flow. It wasn't like, having a calculator and figuring out all these gematrias. Even today, you can find people like that, where it's like their heads are just like they're wide open, like, oh yeah, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, is the same gematria as, Vayazata, Seret B'nei Haman, whatever. I don't know. It's like the people who do that. And it's not because they're math wizards. It's just because somehow they got something open inside, and I don't know if the act of writing and the act of chidushei Torah can do that also. One prime example is Tzadok HaKohen of Lublin. he lived a little more than 100 years ago. He started off as a litvak and snagid, and then eventually became a chassid. But his writings are a little bit like litvak writings, meaning it's very much based on sources and gemaras and hundreds of gemaras, and you can some of his farm are like a long conversation. It starts off on one topic and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and it's like you can tell as he's writing this, he didn't know what he was going to write next. It's just the Torah that he was saying itself was bubbling up more, and just, you couldn't stop, So, so if you know the whole Shas and the whole Zohar by heart, so that's the way you're going to be, bubbling up. But even for now, so every person has their way, but it's basically what Kook is saying, there used to be prophecy in the Jewish people. Okay, we don't have it exactly, but it doesn't mean you should give up entirely of having some sort of internal flow, which will, which is like an angel, or a soul, or whatever it is. And he says, "Betuchim niyeh mikol hazaya, mikol visha, mikol sheker, she'efshar la'dimon ha'aliv otanu bahem." He says, now he's saying about the concern about this. He's saying, the dimyon, the imagination, can start insulting us, and by saying, oh, this is hazaya, this is hallucination, or this is you're just you're into yourself. It's like you're just like trying to make stuff big, or it's just false. So it's the self-doubt. So how do we protect ourselves from this self-doubt? He says, "Im nachzika bechozka be'etz ha'chaim shatorat avot." He says, by holding on to the tree of life of what we received, the Torah of our ancestors, b'noam musara, with its morals, mitzvotah, pikudah, b'kol orchot ha'chaim, and its mitzvahs, in all the ways of life. That's first of all. And also, b'yichuseinu ha'ne'eman la'adam ha'klali, just being a mensch in general. Besides for the Torah receiving, just being another way of protecting yourself is being a mensch, having a good attitude towards humanity in general. The mishpachat, your family, l'umat, to the Jewish nation, l'chaim l'kol mashalotem, and being open to life and all of their desires. Meaning, see, that's the problem with mysticism. That most of the time, mystical people start turning a blind eye to what's going on in the world. And once you start doing that, you can end up being either on purpose or a mistake, a cruel person. The second you start closing your eyes and saying, "Oh, Gavaldik," that's a very bad thing. Closing your eyes to reality, that's the worst thing in the world. It's like, I'm in my high, so I don't care what happens.
He needs to be grounded too.
Yeah. So that's how. So he's explaining what are the things that are grounding you. So it's going to be very interesting list. First of all, it's just the Torah that we got from our ancestors. That's a very grounding thing. Also, it's just being in the world, being a mensch, being connected to your family, being connected to the world around you, being connected to life and all its needs. Meaning, if you do that, if you wake up in the morning and you say, I know people want going to their job, and that's good, and they're watching TV at night, and that's good, and they're just like into watching sports, and that's the world, and there are some people who are rich and some people who are poor, and it's just like being, not being blind to where the world is and its concerns. Says okay, then go, then you can go on this trip and like really be open to stuff that's coming, even if it seems like haughty or it seems like nuts, All right.
That was a tick. That was an angel.
Yeah, come in. And then he goes back. He says, but he says, don't think I'm trying to make you a conformist. He says, "Im zeh, ein anu tzrichim klal liot kvulim b'kvalim ha'chavratiyim." But it doesn't mean you need to be bound by the social rules. Like it doesn't have to constrict you You have to be like this, you have to be like that. Shehem mechankim et haruach ha'elyona hachafshit, which those rules which choke the high free spirit. Shemechalim et hakodesh haba me'olam ha'elyon. They can defile the holiness which comes from the higher worlds. Mi'alma decheru, from the world of freedom. By the way, the sphere at the Omer, which we're counting now, is connected to this term. The world of cherut is 50, counting to 50. And just like 50 is the same number as Yovel. It's no, Yovel is when you see you come back. Oh, everyone's lands go back and the slaves go free. Something about the number 50, which connected to that. So Sphere Omer is also somehow counting towards some sort of freedom.
How is Yovel 50?
Yovel,
50 years.
every 50 years.
No, but I was. Oh, I mean, since.
Yovel is the 50th
not the
year.
word Yovel.
Not the word Yovel. Yovel, the mitzvah of
yeah.
Yovel. Asher Sam Dror Natan Sarapim Cherut Machata L'Shifa Chofesh Gamur L'Tiyat Haratzon Yitzira. It's like he's really pushing this freedom thing. He's saying, listen, like inside you gotta be as free as you can be. וכגודל החופש כן תגדל הקדושה, כן יתרמו החיים, ואני בהשם אלוזה אגילה באלוהי אישי. It's Kook in this piece is really describing a new type of a person, a new model. It's like a person or a Jew who's on the outside. He's like very in touch, like what's going on. He knows what the concerns of life are, but inside, in a certain very inner thing, he's crazy. He's like listening to angels, and he's like. He's like waiting to hear messages from his neshama, and it's like.
But this is for all of us. This is
for all of us. That's the thing with Rav Kook. The difference between Rav Kook and Rav Nachman is that Rav Nachman, his language, he talks about tzaddik, it's a tzaddik. And if you read deep enough, you understand he really means that everyone should be that way in some sort of way. But Rav Kook says it straight out. Like he gives like every person like this like really super duper spiritual goals. You know, like you're the tzaddik. You're it's something. And by the way, I mean he's not following this to this logical conclusion, but in reality, this is probably not as harmonious as he's making it sound. Meaning, he's like making it sound this all works out together. You'll be from, you'll be with people, and then but then you also be like super, flowing with your neshama. But you know, I'm sure there's someone who follows this is going to have some conflict. It's not always going to work out so smooth. You know what I'm saying? There will be conflict.
You to be a free thinker, but within the time, to be a free thinker in a way. So it's sort of like people who follow rebbes, and sometimes this would be not. Usually, you listen to your rebbe as opposed to your inner voice.
Right. It's the whole idea with the rebbe and Rav Kook is an interesting topic, because Rav Kook, even though he was very Hasidish in a way,
it's Tommy Dean has nothing to do with this. I mean, I know many people learn in their cause of even they're the farthest thing from that in a million years.
Well, from this type of free thinking, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem is that you make these teachings into another dogma. You know, and then it's counter. You know, it's not the point. The point he's trying to set you free. He's trying to say, listen, your neshama has a lot to say. Please dedicate some time to listen to it. You know, that's.
Is he? I'm just re-looking at it. He doesn't say, when we say free thinking, he doesn't mean free thinking the way we think. He means free feeling.
Well, thoughts and feelings are very intertwined.
No, the thoughts are much more restricted. When we think, even if you think out of the box, you're thinking out of the box.
Yeah.
So that's restricted.
Yeah.
Out of the box is in itself restricted because you're thinking out of the box. So you just put yourself out of the box. You just restricted yourself.
You just made a bigger box.
Basically, but you're still a feeling is a feeling. You feel.
Right. It's an inspiration. Yeah. But it's I don't think you can never really separate between these two, because whenever I feel something, I try to think about it. I think that's what we do as human beings. I go to the beach and it's amazing. And it's amazing. It's such an amazing beach. And as a human being, I tell my friends, say, wow, this beach is amazing. This sunset is amazing. Because that's already a thought. We automatically...
By that thought, you limited it.
Yeah, but that's the way we work.
You also work in mind, guys. You work in a corrupt thing.
I'm not so sure it's corrupt. I think like reflecting on things in our minds is our way of digesting, spiritual experiences or not spiritual experiences, anything. It's like
I don't think your thoughts are limiting.
Well, it could be if it becomes too tight. It becomes too specific.
It's when you take your thoughts and then try to express them into speech that you're somewhat limited by your speech.
Well, I think it's making a good point. I think thoughts, concrete thoughts in relation to the inspiration that preceded them, it could be a type of a limitation.
No, because if you were inspired, now you've thought about it. That the speech is just
going further.
Third level. That's already going further. So then you really limit it.
Yeah.
But if you go to the first part, that's the inspiration. Now, once you go into the thought process, you limit it. Your thought could be vast, but it was still limited. You're still limited it from its original. I'm just.
Yeah.
Well,
on the other hand,
from Hafnet to being a
On the other hand, again, this piece, he's telling us that there's got to be checks and balances. There's got to be the connection to reality, which protects you from being a lunatic.
That's meaning that admits you involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you're all. I mean, like with it. All
and you don't know what you're doing. Maybe you're going off the deep end. And lots of people have gone there.
Right, exactly. So what he says, all his four things are not logic. They're not thoughts. They're just being close to your family. That's being close to them.
That's true.
Being nice to
reality.
people.
Yeah.
It's not that if you put 2 + 2 and you have this.
Right.
And you have
You're
that,
right.
It's all these emotions that would keep you bounded.
Emotions, and not only emotions, it's relationships.
Right, relationships
to people, relationships to the world.
Right, but those are much less much less in the brain wise, much more as
right here. You said I think what you're saying is that he's not telling you to be limited to a certain belief system per se. He's more telling you to be connected to a specific reality.
Right.
Reality and people and nation and
that's right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because this really it definitely breaks. I think, in my opinion, the boundaries that we have today between Dati and Chiloni people, because religious and secular, because this person who is describing, I'm not sure if you can describe him exactly as Dati in the contemporary sense of the word. I mean, Dati usually means someone who believes a certain thing and like is following a certain path. But here he's saying he's someone who keeps mitzvahs and someone's connected to the Jewish people and someone who's connected to his family. But inside he's like all over the place. He's like, so it's sort of, I mean, if you would follow this, if society would follow this to its natural conclusion, society would look very different. Yeah, okay, we're not there. We're not there yet. I mean, maybe we're getting it, but it's. That's in general. I mean, that's Rav Kook also. I mean, historically, he tried very hard to communicate to the Chalupsim, to the pioneers who were drying up the swamps and doing all this stuff here in Israel, and he was trying to be still in communication with them. It was because he really believed that they can be who they are and still be connected to very deep stuff in Yiddishkeit. I don't think he was really successful. in making that communication. Like he used to go and like send the letters like, I understand that you guys are doing the most holy thing in the world of like building a land, but like please keep Shabbos, and I don't think it worked.
He was tolerated.
Yeah, I mean they liked him. He was like as far as like actually getting the message to it, then it doesn't seem like it worked for most people. There were a couple of people, maybe someone like Shai Ganon maybe, who was somewhere in the middle, who sort of was holding on to both ends, or other people like that. But it could be just
Do you have a reason why that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe because that freedom tends us not to be confined, and part of religion is confining.
Or could be it was a historical thing. Sometimes historical processes need to go to their conclusion. You can't stop it yet. Meaning, could be he was trying too early. Meaning, who is Chosin? Chosin were 90% people who grew up in Cheder. Okay, and they were saying, "Wow, forget about it. There's the whole world out there. There's so much things we can do. Forget about all this mitzvah stuff, and please don't bother me about that." And Kook was saying, "Oh, 1 second, but I have a way to make it all work out." They're not ready to hear about it all working out. It's like it's way too early in the game,
And they needed to put all.
They needed to go all the way. Yeah, I mean,
overboard into what it was to survive.
I don't know. I'm saying just could be. A lot of times it's like that. A lot of times you're telling something true, but he's not at that stage of the game. On the other hand, you can say it's really the fault of the religious community that are not really understanding how free a religious person could be.
And that's still true too.
Yeah, I mean, so therefore they're saying, come on, don't kid me. We all know that these guys are a bunch of neurotic people, and yeah, I mean, I'm saying it's both ways. It's just Kook is sort of saying, listen, I got this project like for you guys to work on for a couple of 100 years, and maybe maybe some more harmony will come to the Jewish people.
That means he felt.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing this. This is what I want to say. These texts are a classic example of what he's talking about. Meaning, this is what he didn't say. It says in the Rambam, or it says in the Baal Shem Tov, or it says in the Arizal all this. Which probably does say a little bit, but he's not saying. He's saying, listen, after learning all those farm, and after like being holy all my life, this is what my neshama is telling me. What I'm saying? It's like that itself is a message.
Right, he synthesized and integrated everything, and then brought out his stuff.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Can we sing a little Nigun?
Nigun, what do you want to sing?
Nice.
Yamar Bakive, Ya Sheikh Misro, Yamar Bakive, Ya Sheikh Misro, Amar Bakiva said.
like that.
Asherechem Israel, fortunate are you, Israel. Before who are you becoming purified? Who is purifying you? Hashem's. Hashem is making you pure. Just like a mikveh makes those who are impure pure, so too God makes you pure. And they sing this on Lag BaOmer.
Ah.
So if you go to Meron and you get into that courtyard where everyone's like,
Oh, that's what they'll
they'll be singing that.
Have you been tomorrow?